Do we talk? Should we get into the guests or should we go beach picnic? Because
Let's
also
go gas and then into
okay.
beach picnic.
Sounds good.
So I know there's two people. So there's Tyler and Bunny.
Yep.
And so Tyler is just drinking wine pretty much the entire time, and basically just passes out at dinner. Which, like, dude, that sucks because that dinner looked really good.
I did like the lobster bisque.
Yeah, and then he just basically passes out so hard that he doesn't eat. He's passed out during the cake. Sean, you know me. Sometimes I get a little sleepy when I drink. I don't think I've been passed out this hard ever before. And more importantly, like, this guy's just he can't drink wine, man. I found out that about myself. If I am gonna go like drink at night, like, wine isn't my best option. It just makes me a little sleepy. It's like even beer does, man. It's just like that guy's just got to go to straight like cocktails. That's the only way to stay awake for guys who get sleepy.
People that can finish a bottle of wine by themselves at night are sickos. I cannot. 2 glasses and I'm like, let's go to bed. Yeah, and it's so filling too.
Oh yeah,
right. Like I'm not really a wine guy either. Yeah,
Sean, I'll tell you, there's definitely certain nights where, like, I'll have a bottle of wine, I'll have a glass of wine, and then I'll be like, oh, I'll make dinner with the second glass of wine. And then I go back downstairs and I get that second glass of wine and I'm just like, you know what? Dinner seems optional tonight. 2 glasses of wine for me is probably dinner some nights. Infrequently, but it's just like, I'm usually not that hungry. And I basically had Tyler's dinner because it was just some red wine and some sleep.
Where were these people from? They weren't super memorable. They seemed nice. I know the one guy loved making cougar jokes.
Oh, that was the only thing I heard about him. He's like, hey, Colin, what's your favorite animal? You like cougars? That guy was fine. Kind of annoying, but fine.
Yeah, they were all fine. Bunny seems cool too. She loved it when was it Gary and Colin and Tom were all shirtless delivering the cake.
So here's the double standard of Below Deck that nobody wants to talk about that we all do. Like, the show would be canceled if they were like, oh, girls, can you go deliver this cake to a guy in like a bikini or something like that, right? But these guys are like, Daisy will go downstairs and be like, hey, can you guys do this shirtless or something like that? Which, like, she knows they're up for it, but it's just like the show never gets flack for the fact that, like, didn't Tom serve on the first charter? He had to like serve something with a shirt off, right? It's just like, it's this double standard that, like, we're just all okay with. I'm not even complaining. It's a fact. I'm not complaining at all. It just is what it is.
I think Daisy asking them to do it makes it even cooler. I don't like, there's just something, if it was like a mean chief stew, I feel like people have a problem. Yeah. Or if Sandy was making guys do it, that'd be an issue. But like,
right.
Yeah. No.
Dude, that's why this show is just like, this iteration of Below Deck is just like the perfect recipe.
It is.
Like, I feel like these guys can just like get away with murder and like, we love it. But like, it's under a different lens for some other iteration. So
absolutely. People just sit back and watch this sailing yacht and aren't like thinking like, oh, it's 2022, you guys. Like, this is a problem. There's like, no, this show rules.
Yeah.
No, that seemed like a delicious dinner. I haven't had a lobster bisque in a long time.
And Sean, one more thing. Why aren't more dinners served on the top deck? So that dinner was served on the top deck. Like, you get the sunset, you get the wind, or I guess lack of wind. But like, honestly, if I was on a sailing yacht boat, I would want every meal on the top deck. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. I want to be like, I like being high up.
Yeah.
Like eating dinner. Yeah. Yeah. Because it feels even cooler. I get maybe it gets too windy sometimes up top, but
maybe. Yeah. So you want to go into lunch? So the beach picnic?
Let's do it.
Dude, what a shit show this was. So they send was it Ashley and Kelsey
by themselves.
The episode. Yeah, by themselves to put together. They had like 3 tables that they had to unfold, some chairs but then I say it's an easy up, so everybody knows what it is, but it's not. It's a like almost like gazebo type thing. And it takes them forever. They don't put it up. They had like an hour to get ready, and by the time the guests come, they're nowhere near ready. So it's a bad look for everybody. Gabriella came with the guests, I think, and was just like mortified of what happened. So she helps, Gary helps, but basically the entire crew puts together an easy up. And I know Gary mentioned he's just like, we need another one. We need an easier one that goes up, with like 2 people can put up. But I think Kelsey and Ashley definitely drew the short straw on this one.
Yeah. Okay. Not to be sexist, but having the 2 least experienced girls there by themselves with a tent, recipe for disaster. And we all saw Tom, I think, was it 2 weeks ago, or the last week actually, put up the tent by himself. So we know Tom is really good at tents. Just substitute Kelsey with Tom, or like I don't know. Like, and look, like I said, not to be sexist, I suck at that stuff. So like I'd be useless at that. But if you have a known person who's good at tents, you gotta throw them there. It can't be the 2 least experienced people there by themselves. I thought that was poor planning by Gary and Daisy. But Gabby is she over dramatic with how embarrassed she is? I mean, like, I agree. You got to get the 10 up, but
yeah. Well, I think it goes back to the standards that she has, right?
Yeah.
So this is just, while Ashley might say like, oh, this stinks, we didn't get it up. Like, she may be like, this is mortifying. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out the rest of the season. I genuinely think Ashley is going to stay third stew. I don't think there's going to be a change.
No.
But and even then, I think it showed a lot about her inexperience when like she should have radioed to the crew and been like, "Hey, we're not ready yet." Like,
oh yeah,
Gary,
Yeah, I think Daisy tells Kelsey that, like, hey, why didn't you guys radio for help? Shout out Kelsey, mentioned her twice already. That's huge.
It's like more than the show has shown her.
If there's 2 of you, you feel you can get it set up. That should be set up first, though. As soon as you land on the beach, you set up the tent first. Then everything else after.
Because here's the thing: I don't need a chair. I don't need a table. Sean, look at me. I last 90 seconds in the sun before I'm burnt to a crisp. So that needs to be up. Yeah, I was maybe a good idea was it Gabriella? I forget, to put like the badminton out, but the guests just saw right through that. So I think these guests are kind of cool. They didn't seem to care that much. So I don't think it's gonna like affect the tip or anything. And it doesn't seem to impact anything going forward, but it's not a great look.
Yeah, I don't see why I feel like Ashley took a lot of the blame for it, maybe just because her and Gabby were going back and forth. But I mean, I feel like Gary should have been there or something.
Yeah.
It's weird like planning as far as setting up a beach picnic with just those 2. No shouts at Kelsey or anything, but I don't know that she's great at tents. I'm gonna say she isn't. And
I think it's an acquired skill for sure.
Yeah, Tom's the guy. Because even Gary didn't just like immediately go to the beach and was like, all right, guys, here's how you do it.
Yeah.
I think Gary depends on another person to know what they're doing with a tent.
Maybe.
Sometimes can be tricky. I don't know.
Sean, I also want to ask you about this beach picnic. Like, so I know like Marco sent over like sandwiches. Like, honestly, like, listen, Marcos is a good chef. This is nothing on him, but like, I feel like I would get cheated a meal if I went on a beach picnic and I got like sandwiches.
Agreed. Like, why wasn't he on the beach?
Yeah, I know he was like prepping for like a big dinner and stuff like that, but damn, man, if I'm paying all that money for a super yacht and I get a sandwich in aluminum foil for one of my meals, not that happy.
Very Fire Festival.
Yeah.
But like, yes. I mean, like, they could have handled setting up a grill either. I don't know. Maybe you don't need one more thing to set up, but
fair.
Weird beach picnic. Weird planning. The food situation seemed odd because every other iteration of Below Deck, the chef is there, like on the beach cooking.
Right.
Or at least like helping like serve or something. And like Rachel would never.
Yeah.
And we love Marcos, sandwiches. But
we do. It's not, I think maybe they were going over too late and he would have been able to like do dinner, but it's just not the best look. It's not a super yacht look.
Agreed. I feel like Gabby was patting herself in the back a lot for distracting the guests. And like I know Gabby,
it worked.
Yeah. But like, hey, you point the chairs away from the tent. It's like, dude, who cares? They still know the tent's not set up and it's 95 degrees out.
Yeah. They're still they're watching because they just want the tent to be up.
It was so hot. It was so hot out there. And it was so like, it was sunny the entire, like through both dinners. It must have been June, right?
Probably. I think that's
early July.
Yeah. So Sean, I think that's kind of it for the beach picnic, but do we want to talk about the flamenco dinner?
Yes.
So, what did they all want? They all wanted like local, like Spanish food, right? Mm. So they get, they get papaya.
Paella.
Oh, paella. I had paella. So they have like paella, which is very authentic Spanish. I remember when I went to Spain, it was just like, that was everywhere. That was like the meal, right?
Brag. Nice though. Yeah, I'm jealous.
No big deal. I did go to a flamenco. I did go to a flamenco like dance, I guess. Where like there were like performers dancing. It was really cool. Something to check out. But it looked like a great dinner. Obviously I actually really like these charter guests in the sense that they're just like, dude, just give us something authentic, like they're not like, oh, one night I want this, one night I want that, one night I want this. There's like, no, just give me something authentic that tastes amazing. And, maybe aside from the lunch sandwiches, I think Marcos has delivered that.
I think it's a good recipe for Below Deck. You can't have all the guests be like disasters or like be crazy people.
Yeah.
So like, last week we had, I already kind of forget, Erica and like Cindy and them.
Yeah.
And like if you had another group just like that, it'd be like, all right, where are we getting these people from? But like, no, they're not all gonna be crazy people. So it's like, it's a good like balance.
Right. And so far, obviously the last charter guests, I think we're all happy that they're gone, but these guys are good so far. Like they kind of remind, aside from maybe the guy sleeping, I feel like that's like how I would like, I feel like I would just be like one of these normal people on the show. That's just like, just give me good food.
We definitely have a friend that would maybe sleep at dinner.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey man, it's a whole day of boozing. You just, you can't make it.
I hope he listens to the podcast. I've told him about it several times, but he doesn't watch Below Deck, but yeah.
Yeah. So Sean, I think that's pretty much it for the guests. I think we just want to talk about the wind. I know we talked about the wind picking up. So, I know there was a spot. Listen, they titled it Loose Lip Sink Ships because for 10 seconds, Ashley and Tom were talking while the wind was picking up. Like, I don't get it. I don't think Tom's really to blame here, but there was a time where like he's not supposed to leave the head. What's it called? He's not supposed to leave the room.
Well,
the wheelhouse. He's not supposed to leave the wheelhouse when he's on anchor watch, right?
Yeah, but I think, was he on anchor watch or was he just like doing his night duties?
I only think you do night duties when you're on anchor watch. So you don't usually have to watch. It's only when you're in really shallow water that they make you do night watch.
Yeah, because he was like filling the hot tub with water and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a good. I wonder if he's gonna get in trouble next episode.
I think he might be because like when the alarm went off, he was like making cereal. Like you're not supposed to leave that room.
Yeah, you're right. Who I know, Malia, that happened to in her first season. Wow. Yeah, I mean, he may get a lot of trouble. And he's also supposed to like tell Gary